Hey everyone! Last time I went into great detail talking about the journey to Happy Happy Village and things to look out for. I broke down the early steps to getting to where we are now, but the next step to the next boss is only a cave away. But I'm also going to break down the boss differently. Oh yeah, you're probably wondering what the boss is, assuming you haven't read the title or paid any attention to what you clicked on, but it's Mondo Mole. Most bosses that we've seen or will see come in a package deal. You have their environment leading up to them and a slew of monsters to go with. But our pal Mondo is no different. The city of Happy Happy Village is once again a peaceful place. It was previously taken over by a villainous cult leader whose ideology was to paint the town blue in order to reach a higher power. But luckily, since then, things have calmed down quite a bit. It is entirely your fault that the town is saved, and you should take the time to wander around and talk to everybody. Modestly, of course. Because most of them are selfishly focused on their own mistakes and don't take the time to worship you. What you're gonna do. Once you've spoken to everyone and graffitied the houses, make your way to the general store up top. Get Paula her frying pan and equip her charms and bracelets. If you haven't picked up on the signs yet, by the way, when it's flashing like this, that means you can benefit from that upgrade. If it doesn't flash, then your character can use the item, but it won't increase your current stats by equipping it, and if it appears to be blacked out, then your character cannot use that item at all. Just a little tidbit in case you didn't know. Once equipped, you're ready to head to the caves. Now please note, if this is your first time taking on these caves, Paula will die multiple times. I'm just saying. So familiarize yourself with where the hotel is and where the doctor's office is. And try not to get frustrated. You're heading into a cave with enemies aimed at Nessa's level 16, Paula's level 1. If she gets hit, majority of the time it will be critical, and that's why I'm here to lay out the best way to get ready. Head inside the caves. Now I've split the cave into 4 parts. The cave intro, tough stretch 1, recovery zone / butterfly room, and tough stretch 2. The cave intro is just as it sounds. It gets you ready for the easier enemies and shields you from harder enemy spawns. As soon as you get into the cave, 75% of the time you'll see a mole laying rough above you. If it's there, it's unavoidable. Battling it right away will increase Paula's level from 1 to 4. You can choose to grind for a bit here. In case Paula dies, you don't have to backtrack too much to heal her. If you want to take the grinding route, however, I would suggest walking the full length of the first section. The reason for that is there's a present with a great charm below the entrance that is really helpful. In the same section, you will most likely find a bunch of bats, so use PSI Rockin' to take them out in a group. You should have Paul's teddy bear following you that can help you absorb some blows. If you'd like to heal up entirely by leaving and going to the hotel, do that now. If you're confident in your abilities, it's time to head to section 2. By this time, at level 2 actually, Paula will have learned Freeze Alpha. It's going to be your best friend. Don't be afraid to deplete your psychic points. We can get more coming up. Entering section 2, you will notice a new enemy. The Mighty Bear. They pack a punch, but you're not scared. They're an experience point gold mine after all. Start a battle with it, and I believe they always end up alone. Ness, make sure he bashes, and Paula have her use Freeze Alpha. It should only take 1 turn to topple a not-so-mighty bear. Repeat this process as long as you're comfortable. You may even get lucky, and one of the bears, one in 64 actually, may drop a teddy bear to bring with you. Once you're ready to move on, head on to section 3. Section 3 is your saving grace. Most major dungeons or caves have a butterfly room, and this is this cave's. A butterfly is almost always guaranteed to spawn in the top alcove. Use it to replenish your PP and heal up your party. You're about to head into the toughest part of the cave, so get to 100%. I wouldn't suggest intentionally fighting any enemies in section 4. It is typically full of enemies of all varieties, bats, moles, bears, and they will do everything in their power to knock you down before your big battle. I normally take the lower path where it splits by the water. There seems to be less enemies this way, but once you clear the water, it is a longer sprint to Mondo Mole. If you take the upper path and can avoid enemies, you'll have less distance to cover if you should have to dodge enemies. This little pocket of last-ditch enemies can be a doozy, so don't forget to try and unspawn enemies if you need to. If successful, you're ready to fight the big man himself, Mondo Mole. Mondo Mole has 498 hit points and will give you almost 5,800 experience points when defeated. He is a boss that guards the second Your Sanctuary location and appears to be an oversized, mutated mole playing rough. He has some brutal attacks that include physical attacks, attacking, which is a low power attack, and tore into you, and clawed with sharp nails, which are high powered attacks. He also has the ability to heal himself and can set up a PSI shield. Mondo Mole takes half damage from PSI Fire, quarter damage from PSI Freeze. We've gotten used to the amount of damage Freeze Alpha does to the bears, but it is no use here. Paula should only use PSI Thunder, which you should have at this point. It has a low accuracy rate, but when it hits, it's worth it. If you don't approach with the right strategy, you will be taken down. Making this video, I got pulverized twice, so don't think that you're exempt just because you've done it before. Your best bet to a quick, painless fight is for Ness to use Paralyze, believe it or not. If it works, Mondo Mole will not be able to attack, and you can wail on him until he's dead. Flash can also be affected, but it isn't as accurate. Hopefully the Earthbound gods have smiled upon you, and you kill him in the first round. If not, rinse and repeat, you'll get it. head to your next sanctuary and move forward with life. Some of you may already know, but Mondo Mole isn't even required at this part of the game. Yeah, no kidding. You will need to get the sanctuary to progress the plot later in the game, but you can come back at level 40 and obliterate the cave if you want. But that's no fun, and it requires a significant amount of backtracking. Also, in the same vein, if you choose to defeat the card painter, get Paula, and head back to Tucson without killing the mole, and start the Runaway 5 storyline, they will offer to give you a ride to Threed. At this time in the game, no enemies spawn. If you take advantage of it, head all the way back to Mondo Mole Cave. Starting a fight with Mondo Mole will soft lock the game, and you'll have to restart your system, so don't do that. Deal? And there you have it, Mondo Mole. Probably one of the most difficult bosses so far, unless you paralyze him, right? But you've done it, and you've made me even more proud than normal. Enjoy your victory, but don't celebrate too much. We're heading into a world of excitement coming up, and you need to be in your best mind. We'll cover a lot of ground in the next episode, so get some sleep and dream of the boogie tent. Another episode down, and I know you're a true fan because you've stayed this long. Now check out some of my Vor videos, you devil. Click on the left link for more bosses of Earthbound, and the right one is another incredibly stunning Earthbound video. Fuzzy Pickles, later days.